Hello and welcome to my presentation on my Mega Froslass plus Krookodile VGC doubles team. If you would like to borrow the team, the rental code is on screen right now.
So this is a team right now. There's Froslass, Sneasler, Rotom, Krookodile, Pelipper, and Aegislash. Currently, they're being ordered from most used to least used. As you can see, Froslass and Sneasler are brought to pretty much every game, and Pelipper and Aegislash are for more niche situations, so like Mega Floette and Mega Charizard Y. Aurora Mega Froslass. So, Aurora Mega Froslass is an extremely strong lead Pokemon because it's not knocked out by pretty much anything except Mega Charizard Y and Mega Delphox, and it can reduce all the damage your team takes by 33% with Auroraville. It boasts a strong defense stat line of 70, 70, 100, and the snow boosts its defense by 50%. It also friends big damage against a whole host of metagame threats like Garchomp, Sinestcha, Aerodactyl, Talonflip. It does a ton of damage to pretty much anything, and also has a 19% chance to freeze everything. So you have a really tanky, very strong Pokemon that can also support your team with Auroraville. It is also boasting an 120 speed stat, which allows it to outrun pretty much anything in the game. So when you're leading Mega Froslass, the only two Pokemon you're really afraid of is Incineroar and Kingambit, and also Mega Delphox, all three of which our team can deal with. Our first Pokemon that can deal with these Pokemon is Sneasler. Sneasler has one of the fastest fake outs in the game and is essentially Mega Frostlass's bodyguard. Fake out is used to stop any lead threats like Incineroar and Kingambit, Aerodactyl, anything that could threaten Mega Frostlass from setting up the Aurora Veil. It also has close combat to deal with pesky threats like Incineroar and Kingambit that we mentioned that Frostless can handle. And its Dire Claw has a 30% chance of just doing something really stupid to your opponent. It could paralyze, sleep, or poison your opponent, and it also has solid matchups against a lot of different teams. The only problem is that it does not necessarily one-shot Kingambit if they have a Chople Berry, and also my Sneasler is not built with max speed, so therefore it can lose to certain Sneaslers with Fake Out. So keep that in mind. Crocodile. Crocodile with Scarf outruns pretty much every non-Scarf Pokemon and Basculegion with Choice Scarf. The only Pokemon I remember it can't outrun is Mega Alakazam, but even then, that Mega Alakazam doesn't do insanely well into it because it has to use Focus Blast, which is only 7% accurate. And Crocodile can one-shot Mega Charizard Y and Mega Delphox with Stone Edge, and it has knockoff the one-shot Scarf to Basculegion. Something to note about Choice Scarf Crocodile, though, is that it does not outrun Basculegion with Swiss Swim, so it doesn't help against rain teams, and it can be tricky into certain Rotom forms. However, other than that, it destroys a lot of the metagame, especially because the Aurora Veil's boosting its stats. It does not take special hits very well, though. Rotom Wash. The reason I added Rotom Wash to my team is because I needed an answer to Garchomp. Garchomp with Earthquake was running over my entire team, so I decided to add something with Will-O-Wisp and also something that can deal with Milotic. Sun teams bring Milotic with Coil, and even though it doesn't do a ton of damage, it can stifle my entire team, so I needed an electric move to kill Milotic. The only problem that Rotom has is that it kind of suffers from a 4-move syndrome. It kind of wants Thunder Wave, Will-O-Wisp, Hydro Pump, Thunderbolt, and Protect. So you're only going to be able to run 4. So I decided to cut Thunder Wave. However, if you would like to add Thunder Wave, then yeah, sure, you can do that. Pelipper Wingull Jedi Master. So, Pelipper. Pelipper is here to prevent Charizard Y teams from destroying our team when Mega Frostlass doesn't have snow. Pelipper is running Hurricane so it can hit Venusaur and Milotic. Pelipper is also running Wide Guard to prevent desperate Heat Wave attempts after you get rain up, and also to block any spread moves like Rock Slide from Aerodactyl and other shenanigans. It's running Weather Ball because all the other water stab he gets is not very accurate or not very strong, and it does not hit exceptionally hard, so it's just mainly here for rain and defense support. It will one-shot Venusaur if it doesn't have Focus Sash, which is nice. But obviously, if you don't have a Charizard Y counter, then you're gonna get run over by Charizard Y. So, Aegislash Killer of Fairies. Aegislash used to be one of the strongest Pokemon in VGC, but they nerfed it in Generation 8, and they took 10 points away from its defense and special defense-based stats, which also translates over to its attack stats when it's in Sword form. Aegislash is here specifically on my team just to deal with Mega Floette. Mega Floette having Moonblast, Calm Mind, all that other shenanigans, making it the strongest Mega in the game,
which I don't agree with, but it is a threat, and it does a ton of damage. So this is why we have Aegislash, to just completely nullify Mega Floette. Also, its low speed can discourage Trick Room because it's slower than Freegraph and Tyranitar. The only one you have to watch out for is King Gambit, because it's not slower than King Gambit, and King Gambit with minimum speed will beat it in Trick Room, and also loses to a lot of common Pokemon. However, in the specific matchups, it's really, really good. Common matchups. Mega Charizard Y teams. Mega Charizard Y teams generally tend to bring Mega Charizard Y, Venusaur, Milotic, and one other Pokemon, sometimes Sneasler, when they're fighting my team. If Mega Charizard Y is in the lead, and you have Froslass in the lead, they'll get the Sun Up because Mega Charizard Y is slow than Froslass, which can be a problem. So what you could do is bring Froslass plus Rotom and click Thunderbolt into Charizard and Blizzard, so you can guarantee that you knock out Charizard, even if they knock out Mega Froslass. Venusaur with Chlorophyll is faster than all of your teams, so you're gonna want to watch out for that because it has Energy Ball to do like 60% to Rotom, and also its sleep moves can stifle your entire team. If Charizard is not in the lead position though, and you have a free Aurora Veil, you can tend to beat it pretty easily. If Charizard Y is facing down your team and you can't do anything about it and they have the Sun Up, you can double protect and then you can switch into Pelipper and put them in a really bad position because if you bring up the rain, it'll weaken Heat Wave, it'll have Venusaur speed, and then you can attack them. Mega Charizard Y tends to bring Milotic against my team because my team does not have a whole bunch of super effective moves for it. So you're gonna definitely want to bring Rotom just to deal with Milotic if they have Milotic. While Milotic is really hard to kill for your team, it also doesn't do too much. It has like Icy Wind and like Hypnosis, but if you get lucky with Hypnosises or it just spams Coil and doesn't try to sleep your team, you can kind of leave Milotic alone. Tailwind leads. If you're encountering a Tailwind lead, Aerodactyl or Talonflame, generally you want to bring Sneasler and Mega Froslass. And the idea is that you want to like have fake out pressure on the Aerodactyl / Talonflame slot, and then you want to Mega Evolve immediately and use Aurora Veil, so you can get your Aurora Veil before the Tailwind, which essentially allows you to have both Pokemon available to attack the Aerodactyl or Talonflame slot, because they usually have Focus Sash so they can survive one Blizzard or one Dire Claw. While it's true Tailwind is really bad for your team, most of my Pokemon have Protect, so you can just try to stall it out. If they have Farigiraf or something that would prevent you from clicking Fake Out, you can just wait out Tailwind, because Tailwind lasts 4 turns, and Aurora Veil lasts 5. So you will have more time in Aurora Veil than they will have in Tailwind. Essentially, when playing against Tailwind, use Protect a lot, like be careful of what they can do, and check their Pokemon and what switches they have available. Rain teams. Rain teams can be a pretty tricky matchup for this team, as Basculegion bowls through a lot of this team if it has Swift Swim. Also, my Pelipper cannot reset the weather like it can against Sun teams, so there's only one weather setter, and you preferably want Froslass in the lead so you can use Snowscape. This leads to problems when Basculegion has a kill on both Pokemon and you can't do a ton against it. Also, these rain teams tend to run Tailwind to Pelipper, which makes it so when Sneasler is already knocked out, Pelipper can set up Tailwind against my team and bowl through the remaining Pokemon. Trick Room teams. Trick Room teams are probably this team's best matchup, as Sneasler with Taunt can shut down Farigiraf, and Aurora Veil allows us to outlast Trick Room teams. Krookodile friends endgame sweeps with Moxie, and Aegislash underspeeds most Trick Room Pokemon besides Kingambit. Conclusion. In my opinion, this Froslass team is a pretty decent team, and it gives you a lot of tools for many different matchups. If you play well, I think this Froslass team could actually do decently well in at least regionals. If you found this video enjoyable or helpful, please consider liking and subscribing, as this is my first edited video, and the credits are linked in the description below. Comment any problems and solutions that you found in my team, or which Pokemon you would like to see me build around.